recession does not equal housing crisis. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time you're watching this video. It's Ryan the Realtor with the Associates Realty Group. So I'm making this video because it's a pretty heavy topic. It's essentially a topic that's always going to be around. It's about recessions. That's the main topic of today. We're going to be looking together at an interview that was conducted late last year in December 2018 with one of the top U.S. analysts of U.S. residential real estate. This guy is incredible. He's amazing. He's a CEO of his Keeping Current Matters company. They made an interview with this gentleman. His name is Steve Harney. So we're going to watch it together because he's going to break down exactly what a recession is and what it isn't. Also, I said Steve Harney, not Steve Harvey.
So probably the most important thing we have to realize, when the headlines say recession, recession does not equal housing crisis.
Right.
Now, I realize that the last recession we had was surrounded by a housing crisis. I get that. But if we take a look at the definition of recession, a recession is nothing more than a slowdown in GDP for 2 consecutive quarters, meaning the economy slowed down for 2 quarters. It doesn't mean there's going to be a crash in anything, and most definitely it doesn't mean it's going to be a housing crash. But what I'm afraid of is some people are going to turn around and equate the word recession to housing crisis. Recession does not equal housing crisis.
Right.
So another way to think about it is this way. If you're really heavily influenced on the things that you read online, on social media, maybe on some blog sites, the news, maybe when you're hanging out with your friends and family, and you hear about recession coming, there's a recession's about to happen, it didn't happen in 2018, so it's going to happen in 2019, there's a recession coming, the prices are getting too high, this is like it was in 2008, there's a recession coming. If you hear all that, you're going to be heavily influenced to believe, well, I guess there is a recession coming because they're talking about it in the news, they're talking about it on Instagram, Facebook, wherever, and you're going to think that. And it's our job as professional realtors to control the narrative, because sometimes, these opinions are coming from people who really don't study the market. And this is exactly what happens. When you hear about the recession coming, it leads to confusion. That's phase one. It leads to confusion. People are going to think, well, wait, hold on, are we going back 10, 11 years again? That happens first. Number one's confusion. That confusion will lead to doubt. People are going to think, well, you know what, I'm not sure exactly what's happening. Is there, I got people telling me there is a recession, I got other people telling me there isn't, I don't know what to do. So, phase one, confusion. Second phase, doubt. That doubt will lead ultimately to fear. They're going to think, I don't know what's happening, and I don't really want to make a move in liquidating the largest financial asset that I have. Now they're going to get scared. That fear will then ultimately lead to paralysis. No one does anything. No one puts their homes on the market. No one buys. No one does anything. And because of that, it becomes like a self-fulfilling prophecy, because now there is a recession coming. Because no one's doing anything. There's no money moving. Nothing's selling. There's no demand. You see how that kind of happens? If you get your sources, your information from sources that are not too credible or too reliable, you're going to get influenced and you're going to start thinking the wrong things. There's 4 phases. There's confusion, doubt, fear, ultimately paralysis. Here's a really easy way to think about it. So condensing it even more. What contributes ultimately to a recession? When there's low demand and there's high supply. That's it. If there's low demand and no one's really wanting a home or even getting pre-approved for a mortgage, and there's high inventory, there's all these homes that are sitting on the market for months at a time, that can absolutely lead to a recession. That's what that is. Right now, we're actually the opposite. Right now, there's tons of demand. There's a lot of people getting pre-approved. They're out there looking for homes actively. There's tons of demand. Not only that, but the inventory is low. A normal market is like a 6-month supply of homes that still need to sell. We're at a 4.6, which means what? If there's a home that's listed, market it correctly, looks great, price it correctly, it'll sell. In 2006, 2008, We were sitting on almost 12 months of inventory that was just sitting there. Nothing was happening. Everything was at a standstill, of course, right? Because we were, in a crash. Nobody was doing anything. There was nobody getting pre-approved for mortgages, so the demand was damn near low. That was non-existent, and the inventory was sky high. Everything was sitting there on the market. Nothing was selling. We're in the opposite right now. But again, if you get this information from other people, they're going to think the opposite. And there's a lot of misleading fake news out there that can really shift your mindset to thinking the wrong thing. Because a lot of people, sometimes they don't really know what's a seller's market, what's a buyer's market. This is what it is. Very concise, perfect explanation, a nice visual. A normal market is a good 6 months of homes that need to be sold. That's a healthy market, 6 months of inventory. Anything below that, we're in a seller's market, because sellers now hold the power. They now have something that's not in large supply. The other flip side, if there's more than 6 months of homes on the market that still need to get sold, that's a buyer's market. Why is it a buyer's market? Because there's tons of homes everywhere. Buyers, if they go to a home and they go, here's my offer, and the seller goes, I don't like it. Buyers are like, that's fine. I got 2 other homes down the same street who are for sale. I got options. Now, before we wrap up this week's video, let's talk about right now. Is there a recession coming? Yes, there is. This is not a joke. There is a recession coming. Why is it coming? Well, because it has to. It has to come. The real estate market is cyclical. We have ups, we have downs, we have highs, we have lows. The market can't be doing as well as it is right now forever, as nice as that would be. It can't. It has to cool off. In other words, it can't be doing this great all the time. So of course a recession is going to come. Here's the thing though. It doesn't, like we said earlier from looking at the Steve Harvey interview, a recession doesn't always mean a housing crisis. If you do not learn from history, you're doomed to repeat it. My team and I got together and we actually went back to look at the last 6 recessions from today all the way back to 1973, because we want to learn what happened, what caused those recessions, and what really were they. Because we want to be able to learn that and see if most of them were caused by a housing crisis, right? So here's a fun fact before we even get into the graph. We've had 6 huge recessions from now, 2019, all the way back to 1973. We've had 6 of them, 6 recessions in the US. Guess how many of them were caused by the real estate industry? How much of those 6 were caused by a housing crisis? 1. And it's the exact one you're thinking about. The one back from 2006, 2007, 2008. That one was 100% caused by the housing market. Everything else, all the other 5 other ones, all the way back to 1973, they were caused by something else. Not only something else, they were caused by other things that had nothing to do with real estate. Some of them were caused by rising oil prices, where oil prices quadrupled, right? Other things were caused by inflation to fight off the rising interest rates. You can Google it. It's on Wikipedia. But it's really interesting to think that, because out of these 6 huge ones that we've had all the way back to 1973, somehow, because of who controls the narrative, people hear recession, they think real estate. If there's a recession coming, it's something, I'm not going to do anything because it has something to do with the market. No, it does. It's not always like that. And that's why it's so important to see these kind of graphs, to be aware, just so we're in the know. That's the purpose of these videos. So I can educate people, my friends, my family, the people that I know, my clients, my past clients, my future clients. I want them to know exactly what a recession is and hopefully take away that fear. Because a recession, it's a scary thing, but it doesn't mean that it's always going to be real estate related. The one in 2006, 2008, of course, that one was caused by the real estate industry. Everybody was getting mortgages. People who could not make their monthly payments were getting mortgages. Lenders were giving out ninja loans. What's a ninja loan? No income, no job, or assets. If you had no income coming in, you had no job, you didn't even have some assets on the side, who cares? here's your loan. Lenders were making pretty good money just handing out loans, and that caused a crash. All the other ones before that, nothing to do with the real estate market. Right now, of course, we're heading toward a recession, but it has, from what we've seen, from all the top analysts, people who study market trends, zero to do with real estate. I really hope everybody enjoyed this week's video. You know, it's such a heavy topic. I really could have been standing here for the next 20-30 minutes talking about all the intricacies of a recession, what contributes to it. But I think the most important takeaway, if anything, is two things. One, a recession does not equal a housing crisis. And number two, if you're ever getting, be aware of where you're getting all your information from. You don't want to get it from your uncle, maybe like a friend who's not even really invested in real estate or really up to date on what's happening. You don't want to get it from them. At least get your information from someone who might be a realtor. Someone who knows exactly what's happening, what a recession is, and can tell you why they're getting, the decision that they're reaching. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm about to get ready to head back out into the rain, so that's fun. But as always, I'm really easy to find. Like, comment, and subscribe. I have my YouTube, my Facebook, my Instagram. I'll be making another video in the next couple of days. That one's gonna be cool. That one's gonna be pretty quick. It's just gonna be about buyers and what they can do right now to get ready for home ownership. Okay guys, so stay warm and I'll see you on the next one.